So the city's doing big things. They're connecting a lot of different spots now, making it more accessible, and you can ride from,
absolutely.
You know, it's just much safer to ride from certain spots to others. You're not like scared driving for 2 miles on the road.
Yeah.
And so how, you know, from your perspective as as an avid cyclist and you know, a family man and everything like that, how has that been for you and for everyone listening? How can, you know, people who don't know about this stuff?
Yeah, and I think that's the exciting thing. It's we fight a lot of these stereotypes in Edmond, a lot, and I think there's a lot to be excited about. And I don't know how many times I've had this conversation. It's probably been 1,000, but the great thing is it's like every week there's something else to be excited about, and we can, you know, I think what I've come to recognize over the past 5, 6, 7 years of being, you know, trying to put myself in the middle of all of it is, it's great to celebrate these small instances and to embrace all of them. And even though it may not be 100 miles of protected bike infrastructure on the street as far as like bike lanes and all these sorts of things, we do have them now. And this is non-existent in Edmond 10 years ago. And so what we found is that the city is investing the time and effort to figure out what needs to happen in the long-term plans to make alternative transportation accessible, so that we're not just a car-centric community. And so because of that, we created these bike lanes, and we have these, so a small bike lane, but we have now an infrastructure that basically from Mitch Park to Arcadia is nearly connected. And I think what we're finding now is that we would want to tell people about that. Where are those trails? It's a big infrastructure. It costs a lot of money to build 18-foot wide side paths.
Yeah.
That's not little things. And so to have the city willing to talk about that on a city level, to me is something that should be applauded, and also, you know, as a community member, till we keep on it so that we can continue to see this kind of progress. Obviously, our big kind of focal point right now is that Arcadia relationship, how we get these trails. And I think, you know, there's a lot of users that use them, a lot of different users. How do we create a table and a win and a collaboration where it says, hey, we can get trail runners and mountain bikers and hikers and equestrian, and we can get families, and we can get walkers, and we can get all these people to interact with this outside that we have. And so to be able to ride from Mitch Park, you know, all the way to Arcadia, and then at some point around the entire lake would create one of the top, I don't know what Tulsa's numbers are. I know they're huge with their river trails and all that, but to be able to create that infrastructure would put us in the upper tier of facility in any town or city in Oklahoma. And the chance to, and the conversation's been had over the past 10 years, how do we connect the fringe of our system with the fringe of Oklahoma City? And I think that will be the next conversation that happens. And to me, that's, you know, there's a lot of collaboration that would have to happen to make that work. And there's going to be a lot of collaboration between cities, a collaboration between public and private. And I think, but that's the conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
So to be able to,
it could totally happen.
Yeah. So to be able to live in central Edmond, Edmond core, downtown Edmond, however you want to describe that. And my 3 and 7 and 10-year-old can jump on their bikes, and we can ride down to the park and hang out. We can ride to dinner. We can turn around and ride back. We can get ice cream and pizza and coffee and walk to the grocery store. All those things. That's the same infrastructure. And that's a big deal because most people don't know that that's accessible. Right. And I think there's some of that's a willingness and an association to that, but some of it is the unknown. And if people don't know about it, they aren't going to utilize it. Yeah. And I go back a lot to when we travel, you know, we talk about, oh man, we loved, was at Seaside, we loved Cotton Landing, we loved all this stuff, and we start talking about why. Oh man, we got to ride our scooter down, and we got to
ride the bikes.
We got to be in the park, and we got to walk here, and man, I didn't have to drive for 3 days. And it's like, hey, I haven't driven my car in 7 days, and I live in downtown Edmond. And we can celebrate those things that we love about our vacation time. We can celebrate that right here in our community. And this is similar to Oklahoma City. I lived the same sort of like connection when I lived in downtown Oklahoma City as well. And I think this is not necessarily Edmond specific, but we have a lot to tell people about in Edmond. You know, I had a chance to be on the Edmond Bicycle Committee for several years and still participate a little bit. And, you know, there's a lot of people working really hard to create that accessibility. It's how I met Henry Owls, and it's how I met a lot of people. And I know that there is a desire from city staff to figure out how we make this safer and better. And I think this event, we're going to get to highlight, not for all of our riders, but for a chunk of our riders, we're going to provide a shorter route that's going to allow people to see that, and then while they're doing that, see all the other things that have nothing to do with cycling that Edmond is doing. I think that's important as well, because that's why we ride.
Yeah.
You bet.